else, you'd believe it. The only thing that saved us is they threw in like but my trees were going like Sunday. So
Yeah.
the back 100 acres, I went four-wheeler.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and start the meeting. We need an approval of the minutes from 3/5.
I'll second it.
Minutes approved. Oh, call for a vote. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved. Okay, reports, solid waste. We're down to Julie.
I included all of the very detailed reports in the packet for your perusal. But then I also, like last month, did a little kind of highlights here at the beginning. February was an amazing month. We went down in waste hauling from 4,697 tons to 3,858. And usually when that happens, it's attributed to one hauler, but it looks like all of our haulers were down across the board. So that was very encouraging, especially when you look at countywide recycling is up by 40 tons last month. So that is a good sign. So our waste diversion rate went from 10% to 13% in the county in February. That's good news. Any questions on any of the numbers? Now to my very long program coordinators report. Our top posts this month on our Facebook and Instagram, I started every Wednesday just taking a different type of material that's on our website and highlighting how people can dispose of it. The electronics recycling, once again, was the number one thing that people really want to know about. It was shared in a lot of the local, private community groups, and it made the circulation. I saw it, on my personal Facebook circulating. I was like, oh yay, I made that. So that people were really interested in that, and the bulk trash and the light bulbs. We did put out a save the date for the household hazardous waste that Anderson is doing, and we'll put out more information. I know Jamie is finalizing the stuff. Awesome. So we'll put out more information once that is ready. And for some reason, we got a report, which I forwarded to all of you, about the state of waste management in Michigan, talking about how it's impacting our state economy and how much waste we get from other places into Michigan. And a little snippet that came out of that from a food waste place I posted about the economic impact of food waste, and people seem to really enjoy that information as well. I think the big purpose of that report that I forwarded to all of you when it came out is that the governor's trying to raise tipping fees again. And I think they're doing a more slow approach to it, but the point is, like, we're lower than everywhere else. And so Ohio's sending their trash to Michigan and Canada is sending their trash to Michigan. I'm not so sure now that there might be tariffs on it, but it's all coming in to Michigan because of the low tipping fees we have in the state. So while it will probably increase fees to our residents, it will reduce some of the waste that's coming into our state. So some of the outreach we did this month, I will be speaking at the April Adrian New Rotary on the 16th. I met with the new events coordinator over at the Conservation District, whose name is also Julie. She's very nice, and she is hosting a composting class, a worm composting class at the end of this month. So she wanted to make sure she had the most updated information. So we went over what she's covering, and she's going to start doing more programs like that in the community, mostly focusing on gardening, but she wants to work in some sustainability elements. So there's a great chance to partner with her. And then I met with a U of M student who is working with the city of Tecumseh to redo their sustainability pages because Tecumseh is working towards getting certified as a green community. And she,
What does that do?
it's just a certification you put on your page just to say we do, all these.
We're doing.
All these
what we
things.
Can be green.
And from what she said, they had met all of the requirements already, but she's helping them prepare their package to submit. And they're also redoing a lot of their website and collateral. So they wanted to get information about the composting pilot we will be putting in Tecumseh this year once our state funds clear. And she wanted feedback they're going to be linking a lot to the county information on recycling and composting, and she wanted feedback on the site. So I was able to talk to her about some things we want to include. More specifically, we want to reduce and reuse before we even get to the recycling and composting. So any information you can include on specific local resources in Tecumseh. Where can people donate food? Where can people donate clothes? We want to make sure we include that on top too before we get to the where can we recycle, because that also contributes to lessening waste in the community. So she's sending me more of their web content for me to review and make notes on them. So yeah, it'll be cool. And waste hauler licensing, we don't have any new licenses this month. We had two new this year so far, and they have complied with reporting their numbers, which is great. And all of our current licensees are reporting. And only 3 of them needed friendly reminders this month, so that was good. And I've registered for the big Michigan May Recycling Conference. That's in Muskegon, I think, this year. So that will be coming up in May. So I'm excited to bring back a lot of feedback and information from that. And as I mentioned before, I shared the economic impact of municipal solid waste in Michigan. And projects. So I wish I had better news on the scrap tire information. We did submit our grant for the event. However, I checked in with her this week because it has been a while since I submitted it. And she said that they probably would not. I know I have in here that I've tentatively scheduled it for May 31st. She said they probably wouldn't even be sending out grant approvals till June. So the likelihood of a spring event funded by the state is low. We are having a special solid waste committee meeting next week. And I will include in that if they want to fund one out of the department's budget, just to have one for our residents, or if we want to wait and have one later in the year in the summer. The problem with summer is it's really warm and we have those teenage kids from Murray Spheres out there in the hot sun, and it's even doing it in August, it was rough. So we may have to just do one in late fall, or if we want to fund it ourselves in the spring. So that'll be something the solid waste committee will decide next week. And the big happy news is that the recycling partnership received a grant from Eagle for Michigan small community recycling education. And they reached out to me, and we had several communities in our county that qualified for participation. So I worked with them, and I know I mentioned in the past the mailers that went out. We finalized the project this month. So the final numbers is that we got about $14,000 in free education for our community on recycling. 23,000 mailers went out to households this month. We also got 2 new educational posters for the DOS that we can use as needed. And I preemptively used some of the grant money to get 10 stickers for our dumpsters for when we expand our program. telling what people can put in there. So we'll have those once our program's expanded. We don't have to pay for that as part of our pilot. We got those for free. And we also got 6,000 recycling education flyers to hand out at community events. I have a whole big cabinet full of flyers now that were free, and they have our logo, they have Eagles logo, and the Recycling Partnership logo on them. We got an extra 500 copies of mailers to hand out. I am going to drop those at some of our bigger apartment complexes to have them include. They did go out to residents in apartments mentioning the DOS, but when they have new residents to move in, they'll be able to give those to the new residents. And communities that received mailers were Raisin Township, Madison Charter Township, Cambridge, Addison, City of Tecumseh, Tecumseh Township, City of Adrian, and Adrian Township. So that was a big project and a big win. So that's my report. Oh, it does. Oh, I am very sorry. Thank you, Tracy. Our DOS, one of the compactors at the DOS is down at the moment. We have we got approved a $1,200 repair, I think it was. And they should be coming out Friday morning to repair the compactor. We had it in our budget for repairs in case this happens. So I know we did have a couple days where they closed down the whole shebang just because it was full and we were waiting for LRS to do a pickup. But now we've said we will put up a sign that says take your cardboard to good is a cardboard dumpster. So if the one working is full and the other one's broken, take your cardboard to Goodwill, and we're going to leave plastics open rather than shut down the entire DOS, which is what happened for a day or so last week. So it should be fixed by Friday, hopefully. And hopefully without too much interruption of service. So. And I think we might leave the Goodwill signs up too, because people tend to, if the cardboard bins are full and, we haven't changed out for the day, they tend to just dump the cardboard. So we're going to leave a sign that says, if the bins are full, please take it to Goodwill. Or if you have a large load. My report.
Okay. Any questions for
Your mic on.
Julie? And
Is your mic? Okay.
then, so we've pretty much covered everything. You had mentioned to me that the sheriff's coming next month, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have that next month. Is this for the next meeting?
But I do have a materials management update.
Okay. And
Right.
Yes.
yes,
Just, the sheriff is coming next month, but you'll put him at the top of the agenda if you would. I talked to him and he needs to get in and get out, so
okay, that sounds good. Put him first.
thank you.
I understand that. I've been to many city meetings and they put the trash guy at the end and it's like, and then these little communities, some of them will start fighting and it's like, oh, get us out of here.
They do that to commissioners at the local meetings too.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure. Okay. And you, Julie has,
Materials management update, yes.
the update for the materials manager.
So I did submit our amended work plan. I think I had already submitted it last month when we had our meeting. I did reach out to Eagle yesterday for the latest update, and I guess just because we're one of the few counties that are doing a pilot and implementing right away and hitting the ground running, that they need extra, they're running it by their recycling and composting people to make sure everything's on the up and up before they approve ours. Because I know other counties are starting to get their approval. So I don't know if they're just taking their time and working on plans, but we want to make sure that we implement programs that are actually going to work. So we're doing pilots. So because of that, they, it's still in the approval process, but they are reviewing it, and hopefully we get the news soon that it's approved. So At least they responded to me on the same day in which I sent the update email, so.
On the other one.
And for citing, I sent all of you the information that you requested, a couple examples of different counties. Were there any other specific counties you wanted to see citing requirements on existing plans from? Or any feedback you have on those counties? So I can start drafting that portion of our materials management plan. Is there any feedback you'd like to give me on what you would like to include in citing requirements? I did like that the previous plan said that if anyone does collect waste, they have to collect recycling. But I can draft something up and bring it at the next meeting if that is the direction you want me to go in. Is there anything you want to include or don't want to include in citing requirements?
Situations when I review a draft, put what you think should be in there, and then we'll pick it apart after you've done all the
All
hard
right,
work.
perfect. Sounds great. I'll have fun with it.
And don't take personal offense to any of it.
I will now. And on enforcement, we do have the sheriff coming, next meeting. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss? Again, do you want me to kind of gather information from other counties on what they're doing? Okay. I can do that.
Where did we land with, I know we were kind of going around and around about speaking with council versus speaking with law enforcement about kind of how those two things work together. And I think we talked about council being within the order of things. So we'll do sheriff next meeting and then council after that. Is that correct?
Mm, yeah.
As long as he says he'll help us enforce it.
Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure I was tracking on how that was going to unfold.
And then I included in your packets, I started because I'm just, twiddling my thumbs, waiting on Eagle. I started working on some of the preliminary flyers and education materials that once we have our funding, we will be able to print. However, this food scrap pickup composting flyer, we already did print. The environmental health included it in their printing costs. It was sent out to all of our restaurants in the food license renewal packets that went out in March. So that piece is done already. And I created this handy composting at home. I mirrored it after Emmett County has a really robust compost program. And they had something like this on their website. So I just kind of mirrored what they had. She said, please use everything at our last meeting. So it's a really handy, composting can get really science specific and confuse people and scare people. So this is just a really easy, here's what you need. Here's browns, here's greens, and then at the bottom it has, common problems that people have that tend to scare them away, like the smell and the critters and that sort of thing. And it has troubleshooting for, if your compost is smelling too much, this is what you can do to fix it. So that is, and all of these are drafts right now until we have the funding to print them, and we'll hand them out at events and put them in places. And then this is the one I'm very proud of. A big part of my job is answering the phones all day of people telling me, I have a mattress, where do I take it? And this will be something we will have at all of our education tables. We will have everywhere we go and be able to hand out to residents. And I have it, I'm going to put it on the website so people can download it and print it and put it on their fridge. It's basically, it's a two-sided sheet where you can take anything in the county, I have bulk trash. Where do I take it? The contact information for the landfills and yard waste and pesticides, things with Freon in it. All those questions that people have, they'll be able to have access to that at their house. And we can put it in some of our local municipalities too, so that they have those to give to residents, because I know that's a confusing thing for people and there's so many places to take things and we don't have a landfill, so. Any questions on any of those or feedback?
Okay, we're at new business now.
This is just, does anyone have any information or anything they would like me to bring to the next meeting? Yeah. Okay. Alright.
I think it'll be good to hear from the sheriff. That'll lead us in the right direction. And new business, Julie, is that where?
That's it.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
We're done.
Don't know. Public comment.
Yes, any public comment? We don't have a lot of public here today.
Well,
Okay. Do we have a move to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in disfavor, say no.